Welcome back to School of Arts and Science. In this video, we're going to see active voice and passive voice, but using simple past tense. Very easy. So in the previous video, we saw active voice and passive voice in simple present tense, present continuous and present perfect tense. And if you like our videos, please give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and please do share and subscribe. And let's get started. Active voice and passive voice, very simple concept, but this time it's in the past tense. Let's see the formation first. So I have written active voice on the left side, passive voice on the right side. So let's see the formation for active voice and passive voice. So because this is active voice and passive voice in simple past tense, we are going to use the verb, the second form of the verb, V2. In our previous videos, we did mention about V1, V2, V3. So this time, because it's in the simple past, the active voice side will mostly have V2, but we will also use V1, but I'll tell you when we use that. Okay, so active voice. So first you need to have the subject. You all know that very clearly by now. Subject plays a major role in active voice because we emphasize the subject. So subject comes in the beginning, and V2 stands for verb in the past tense, the second form. I am sure that you all know that. And finally, you have the object. So let's take an example. Okay, subject plus V2 plus object. So in this formation, we are going to write an example. Let's take any example for that matter. So I'm going to write active voice here. Let's take Rima. Rima cleaned the floor. Okay, Rima cleaned the floor. Now let's see here the subject. You have Rima, because she is the one who is performing the action to do well. So Rima is here. Verb in the second form, that's a past tense form. So clean. So we written clean. And finally you have the object. So the floor. So Rima cleaned the floor. So we are clear with that. So we got subject. Here we have subject. You have the verb. And finally the object. Now let us write an example for passive voice. We're going to convert the same form, same sentence into passive voice. So let's see the formation of passive voice. So according to the rule of passive voice, most of the time the object will come right at the beginning. So the object is here, and then you have the auxiliary verb here, was, by, where, whichever we need, we're going to use it, plus V3 verb in the third form, and by plus subject. Okay, so let us rewrite the sentence. Rewrite the first sentence that we have written into passive voice. So the sentence here is Rima cleaned the floor. Now we have to bring the object to the front. So let us bring the floor, because that's the object. So let's bring the floor to the front. And what do we have here? Was or where. So depending upon whether it is a singular or plural object, so based on that, we choose was or were. So because we are talking about flow collectively, let us use was. The flow was cleaned. So you can see V3. After was, after the auxiliary verb, you have V3. So clean, the word clean is a regular verb. So obviously the past tense of clean is cleaned, and the past participle form is also cleaned. Clean, cleaned, cleaned. So the flow was cleaned. Then you have by. So add by here. The floor was cleaned by who? The subject. Who's the subject here? Rima. Isn't that simple? Very simple. Just that you are rewriting the entire sentence. Rima cleaned the floor. The floor was cleaned by Rima. So what we are doing here is we are emphasizing the subject in active voice, and in passive voice we are emphasizing the object. So that's the first example. Let's see one more example to understand better. So let's write active voice first. Okay. Aisha bought a bicycle. Aisha bought a bicycle. Okay. So here who is the subject? Obviously Aisha. What is the verb? V2. verb buy, bought, irregular verb. So buy is the base form, the second form, the V2 of the word buy is bought. Buy, bought a bicycle. Okay, that's the object. So Aisha, subject, verb, object. Now we are going to rewrite this sentence into passive voice. So bring object to the front. Bring object to the front. So bring it here. A bicycle. We have to add the auxiliary verbs. Object is in singular form. So add was. A bicycle was. V3. So verb buy, bought, bought. A bicycle was bought by. You have to add by. Bought by the subject. Here the subject is Aisha. It's a very simple concept. You just have to bring the object to the front, add an auxiliary verb, and then verb in the past participle form, add by, and then subject. If you are thorough with this formation, it is going to be absolutely easy. It's not a big deal. It is very, very easy. Let's take one more example. Active voice. Okay, this is passive voice. Active voice. Sam called me. Sam called me. So this is the active voice. So you have the subject as Sam, called, the verb, object, me, because I was the one who was called. So let's rewrite the sentence. You have to bring the object to the front, right? So me will become I. And then you have to add the auxiliary verb. Was. I was. What is the verb here? Yeah, here we go. Object, yes. Was a auxiliary verb because I is singular. So I've written was. And then V3. Called will remain same. I was called. Add by. I was called by the subject. Who is the subject? Sam. Very simple once again. Sam called me. I was called by Sam. Isn't that simple? I'm sure it is very simple. Please practice these exercises in your free time so you will get used to it, and you will not make any mistakes in this part. So we're going to see the second part. Alright, let's see an example. So I've written Naman did not call my friends. So let's check whether the formation is correct. So we have subject here, and then did not is there. Verb in the base form because we use did here. So verb in the base form call, and then object my friend. So now we're going to rewrite the sentence into passive voice. Let's see that. So you all know that when you write passive voice, you have to bring the object to the beginning. So object first. My friends, because they are the object here, right? So my friends was or were. So friends plural. So we're going to use were. My friends were not. My friends were not. V3 called regular verb. Called. My friends were not called by subject. Who's the subject here? Naman. So my friends were not called by Naman. Very simple. Okay. Naman did not call my friends. So when you rewrite it, object first, auxiliary verb next, and then verb in the, you have to add not, and then verb in the past participle form, finally the subject. So my friends were not called by Naman. Let's see one more example. I did not like him. I did not like him. So I is the subject, correct? Yes. Did not, yes. Verb in the base form like, and finally the object him. I did not like him. Let's rewrite the sentence now into passive voice. Remember object at the beginning. So him will become he. So it's singular, so add was, and then not. Very important, V3 verb in the past participle form. So like, where we are here, liked. So he was not liked. I will become me. I did not like him. He was not liked by me. Very simple concept. Same as the first one. Only difference is we added not here. We did not add not here. That's the only difference here. So with that we finish the second scenario. Let's move into third scenario, which is also very simple. It's kind of an interrogative, and let's see that quickly. Third example, or rather third scenario, interrogative. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus object, and very importantly question mark, because it is interrogative, right? So did should be in the beginning, subject next, and then V1 verb in the base form, object plus question mark. So let's write a sentence for that. Active voice, okay? Did Peter pay the bills? Did Peter pay the bills? Let's check. Yes, we have did here. We've got subject, just Peter here. I would rather have to write it in. What's the proper noun? Did Peter pay the bills? Did subject, verb, pay, paid. So base form of the verb, object, the bills. So subject, I beg your pardon, here we have the subject here, did is already there, verb, the object, okay? So at the end you need to have the question mark as well. Did Peter pay the bill? So we're going to rewrite it into passive form. How do I write it? Check it out. So object first, however you need to add the auxiliary verb before to that. So based on the subject, if it's a singular or plural, we have to check it. So here we have was or were, object bills. So it's plural. So where, because the bills plural here, where the bills, where the bills. So we have got where here, object, the bills is also there, verb in the past participle form. So pay, paid, where the bills paid by who? Subject, Peter. So where the bills paid by Peter, and a question mark at the end. So did Peter pay the bills? Were the bills paid by Peter? Finished? One more example. Did I save him? Okay? Did at the beginning, subject is there, verb in the base form, save, object, plus a question mark at the end. So did I save him? Okay, so that's the active voice sentence. The formation is also correct. We're going to rewrite it into passive voice now. So bring the auxiliary verb at the beginning. So him, singular. So was, him will become he. Was he, object. So we got was, object is here he, and then verb in the past participle form. Was he saved? Third form, was he saved by? So this I, is the subject here, will become me. Question mark. That's passive voice for you. Was he saved by me? Did I save him? So it's kind of a shock for the person whoever says this, and that's the active voice sentence. So when we rewrite the sentence in passive voice, bring the auxiliary verb at the beginning, object, and then you've got verb in the past participle form, by the subject. Was he saved by me? Very simple concept. If you check all these videos, you clearly understand that the formation is very simple, and when we follow the formation, the sentence pattern is also really easy. I hope you enjoyed our videos. In the next video, we're going to see active voice and passive voice using past continuous tense